Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at 5.
We are tracking the search for a second suspect in a Fleming County murder case.
There are new details today about 3 suspects in the shooting of a pizza shop employee during a robbery.
A Fayette Urban County Council member goes to court to find out if she can remain a candidate in next month's election. WKYT News at 5 starts now.
We're tracking a breaking news alert out of Lexington right now. Police were called to the scene this afternoon of a bank robbery.
It happened at the People's Exchange Bank on Richmond Road at North Hanover Avenue this afternoon. WKYT's Jerica Insco is live for us at the scene with the breaking details. Jerica?
The scene is now clear after this bank robbery. It happened at about 3:30 this afternoon when Lexington police tell us a man with a handgun entered this bank and demanded money. Now that suspect is described as a black man about 5'10" with a medium build wearing a gray hoodie and black mask. Police say 2 bank tellers, no customers, were inside People's Exchange Bank at the time of the robbery. The suspect pointed his gun at the tellers, asking for cash, and according to Lexington police, once he had the money, he ran from the bank and canine units were used on scene to search for the suspect, but that suspect is still on the run.
Mintel Park is where we used our canine to try to track him, and we believe, follow a track to Mintel Park, which is 1 block up.
Now, no one was hurt in this bank robbery, but police tell us that they do consider the suspect to be armed and dangerous since he used a handgun in this crime. And as far as how much money he got away with, they say they don't know. Reporting live in Lexington, Jerica Insco, WKYT.
Jerica, thank you. Police want to find a second man in connection to a murder.
Kevin Howard is wanted on murder, theft, and evidence tampering charges after remains were found in Fleming County earlier this week. Charles Black has already been arrested on those same charges in this case. We're also learning more about who the victim might be. WKYT's Sam Smith is tracking the investigation in our top story at 5.
I'm standing along Ringo's Grange City Road in Fleming County. It's where officials were called to recover the body. An unidentified male body was found here on October 1st. State police say 55-year-old Charles Black had something to do with that. Black was arrested that night. His arrest citation says police questioned him as part of a missing person investigation that state police were already working on. Black's arrest citation says during that interview, he told police he helped someone remove a body from his house and brought it to this road and put it in a shallow grave. The report also says he helped burn a mattress the body was removed from. He also admitted to driving the victim's vehicle and using the victim's ATM card to withdraw $200. Police say that vehicle belonged to the missing Randall Russ of Grant County, a professor at the University of Cincinnati. But again, the body has not been identified at this point. Police are currently searching for Kevin Howard in connection to this death. Those that knew Black can't believe he's involved with this.
Most time it's just a quiet old place now. You know, I've been here around 14 years. I've never seen or heard anything like that.
Black has a preliminary hearing on October 9th for his murder, theft, and tampering charges. In Fleming County, Sam Smith, WKYT.
And Black is being held on $1 million cash bond in the Mason County Jail. Our day began with rain and it's ending with some pretty chilly temperatures out there.
That it is. WKYT meteorologist Jim Caldwell is here now with your forecast.
And we'll watch those temperatures continue to tumble as we work our way through the afternoon and into the evening, and especially tonight we get the first taste of some of this chilly air. Right now on Defender, we're tracking a line of gusty showers. It's formed into a line basically from Owensville almost into Moorhead, all the way back down into extreme southern parts of Kentucky and even over in Tennessee. We'll check out some of that rain on the leading edge of it. There you see some of this heavy stuff just outside of Owensville, closing in on the folks there in Moorhead. Down through Frenchburg, all the way through Stanton. Again, this is not a severe line of thunderstorms. Actually, not even seeing any lightning associated with it. There's not even a thunderstorm area. Down to Irvin as well, getting in on some of the heavier rain and a little gusty wind, a little shot of wind as well. Somerset also getting in on some of the activity as well, starting to develop a little more on the southern extent of the line. A few more showers passing through Clay County into Perry and also Leslie County. You folks in Paintsville also getting in on the action. How about everybody that's going to be headed out to Commonwealth Stadium tomorrow? Well, have fun. 49 degrees at kickoff with the wind howling could make for temperatures feeling like somewhere in the mid 40s perhaps. And by the second half, temperatures around 44 degrees. A very chilly one. That's for anything going on outside tomorrow evening. I'll break the rest of the forecast down coming up for you here in just a few minutes.
All right, Jim, thank you. We are tracking down more information about the arrest of 3 people accused of shooting a pizza shop employee. 21-year-old Zoe Reed suffered serious injuries during a robbery attempt at the Domino's in Danville last month. Rico Penix, Robin Adams, and Patrick Brand were all arrested in the case yesterday. As WKYT's Victor Puente shows us, court documents reveal new details, including more suspects.
The arrest warrants for the 3 people charged in this place reveal more about how police believe this robbery and shooting played out. They also list a 4th man charged with helping one of the suspects hide from police. Rico Penix, Robin Adams, and Patrick Brand are all charged with robbery and assault. The 3 were arrested yesterday. Penix and Adams earlier in the day, Brand after a search that included a home in Junction City being surrounded by police. According to the court documents, Adams drove 3 other people to the Domino's on South 4th Street in September. Those papers say Brand called in a fake order to get the driver to leave the store. Penix's arrest warrant says he and another person then went to the store and robbed it, shooting the clerk in the process. That clerk, 21-year-old Zoe Reed, is still in UK hospital recovering from her injuries. The man who lives at the home in Junction City where police searched for Brand has been charged with hindering apprehension. Police say Seth Frazier told them Brand had been at his home but left after telling him he was wanted for the Domino's robbery. They say Frazier tried to delete text messages from Brand that revealed his location and put up a struggle when police tried to arrest him. The warrants say there were 4 people in the group that robbed the Domino's. Danville Police Chief Tony Gray told me in regards to who that 4th person was, the investigation was ongoing. In Boyle County, Victor Puente, WKYT.
Police say they don't believe Seth Frazier had any connection to the robbery, along with hindering apprehension. He's also charged with tampering with physical evidence and resisting arrest.
A battle between 2 candidates in November's election headed to the courtroom today. Michael Stewart filed a lawsuit against incumbent Lexington Councilwoman Siobhan Akers in September, alleging she does not meet the requirements to be a candidate. WKYT's Kristen Kennedy has more on the hearing today in a story that's new at 5.
There are 2 questions the judge must answer. Does Councilmember Akers have enough signatures from voters for re-election? And does she live inside of her district? Now, these are 2 questions that her challenger for the 2nd district has raised. Michael Stewart says she did not get the 100 signatures from voters living inside District 2 that she needed to file for her candidacy. He also claims that Akers didn't live inside the district for the 6 months prior to filing for re-election. His attorneys brought to the stand this afternoon a friend of Akers. That friend read through text messages between the 2, and their messages that Stewart claims prove she wasn't living in the district. Fayette County Clerk Don Blevins also testified.
It happens all the time, not limited to Ms. Akers' petitions, where one property owner will sign, say, husband, sign for wife, and a resident child eligible to vote. And you'll have 3 appearing to be the same exact handwriting, but in effect signing signatures for those voters.
Blevins speaking, of course, about the number of signatures Akers received and whether or not all of those signatures should be counted. That case is still continuing in court right now. In Fayette County, Kristen Kennedy, WKYT.
We'll try to keep you updated on that situation. Witnesses are still being called in the case.
Another American with Ebola will be treated in the U.S. The cameraman was diagnosed while covering the virus in West Africa. In Texas, hazmat crews have finally made their way into an apartment where the nation's first Ebola patient was staying. Marley Hall has more from Dallas.
Hazmat crews arrived at this apartment complex in Dallas 5 days after an ambulance brought Thomas Eric Duncan to the hospital to be treated for Ebola. The cleaning teams have special permits to move and dispose of contaminated bedsheets, towels, and other soiled items that are still inside the apartment where Duncan was staying. 4 people living there are also under a court-ordered quarantine and armed guard. Health officials now say they've narrowed the group of people who may have had direct or indirect contact with Duncan to about 50. At least 10 are listed as high risk. So far, none are showing symptoms. Duncan's Ebola case is the first one diagnosed in the U.S. A U.S. cameraman working for NBC News in Liberia is also now diagnosed with the virus. Ashoka Mukpo's mother, who lives in Rhode Island, says her son is weak but still walking.
Of course, he's very, very frightened. But his spirits are relatively good, the more we've been able to reassure him.
Mukpo's family says a private jet will fly their son to Nebraska Sunday. Marley Hall, CBS News, Dallas.
Officials say most of those who came in contact with Duncan are ambulance or hospital workers. President Obama headed to Indiana this afternoon to talk about the economy. He spoke at Millennium Steel in Princeton. The company has roots in Nicholasville. CEO Henry Jackson received his MBA and started the business after serving in the Vietnam War. During today's visit, the president said getting more people to the middle class will help the economy.
You look at American history, the times we grow fastest and do best is when we're growing the economy from the middle out.
Some of Jackson's colleagues from Lexington traveled to Indiana for today's presidential visit.
The latest jobs report is out, and it's better than expected. Companies added 248,000 jobs in September. The unemployment rate fell to 5.9%, and that is a 6-year low.
The trend is telling you things are positive. Are they as positive as we would like them to be? Absolutely not, but they're still positive.
The Labor Department also says hiring in August and July was better than first thought. A revision of those months shows employers added 69,000 more jobs than previously calculated.
Severe storms left a path of damage from Texas to Illinois last night. The storms arrived during opening night of a fair in Waco, Texas. Strong winds and rain damaged rides and buildings. No one was injured, but there were some close calls.
I immediately just seen this lady pushing her stroller, dragging it because it was blowing over by the wind. And I didn't think it was a baby in it. I thought it was just empty. And I got her to the shed, and she was like, she just started pulling towels and bags out of the stroller, and it was a baby under there.
The storms also caused widespread power outages in Arkansas, Louisiana, and Mississippi. Chicago's 2 airports are still experiencing delays a week after a fire at a regional air traffic control tower. Investigators say an employee set the fire as part of a suicide attempt. This morning, both airports had delays averaging half an hour. Another 200 flights had to be canceled at O'Hare. The Federal Aviation Administration hopes to return the facility to full service by October 13th.
Vandals targeted a piece of holiday movie history. Someone removed a ladder, smashed a taillight, broke an antenna, and removed pieces of an RV featured in National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. It's on display at the Castle Noel Museum in Medina, Ohio. The owner says he's pretty disappointed by what happened.
It's heartbreaking for us because our mission here is to just build really wonderful memories for families.
And you may recall, if you saw the movie, the RV served as Cousin Eddie's camper in the 1989 comedy. The movie, or museum rather, features other props and costumes from Christmas-themed films. A milestone today for a Lexington organization committed to helping other people. The Habitat for Humanity Restore recycled its 300th batch of latex paint today. The store collects old paint, recycles it, and then resells it to the public. Money from items sold at Restore helps Habitat for Humanity build new homes. They say it's a win for them and the people they need, and they help, and the environment.
Well, 15,000 gallons of paint is enough to fill a backyard swimming pool that is not in our landfills, that's being reused in the community, so it's great for the environment. And we believe we've raised about $100,000 towards building Habitat homes in Fayette County.
Some of the more popular colors the Restore employees make are off-whites and light blues.